name of the Father, Son, Holy Spirit, one God, Amen. Okay, this topic was in my website. If Manuel or Michael next week, he can download it, he can print in CD, he can keep. Why? Because second Chronicle books, it's very important in our church. It's very important, and unfortunately it's like missing from the teaching of our church. Why? Because in early church we have a lot of problem for excommunicate some people from the church, and some of the books they not take it serious, or they take it canonical books. So that's what happened. So every books after this they was taking very serious. And when they started 7th century, when Islam went to Egypt, the education for the church and even the priesthood wasn't good qualified enough to teach. That's why if you found in history of the church from the 7th century to maybe about 18th century, the most pope was elected from monastery of St. Macarius. Why? Because in that time was the only monastery had education and teaching and good library in this time. So the church went through a very hard time for the teaching and learning about the Bible. But definitely in every generation we have some people very good. In this time too, it's very hard to say this book's canonical or not. So that's why they stick to our Bible and they left away the second canonical books. But before the 7th century and all this time, the church as a Catholic church, or we say Orthodox church around the world, they believe in this book. So that's number one. Why they're not famous in our church? Because the people coming up from our church, they didn't learn these books. For me, first time I heard about these books when I was in Theological college. I remember our professor, he was teaching Old Testament, he teach us Book of Tobit. It was first time for us to hear about Book of Tobit. Why? Because we not have it in Sunday school, we not have it in the sermon in the church, and we not have it with the Sunday school servant teach us these books. That's why first time we surprised. Some of these books we start to read it in our Passion Week and all this time. So we start to slowly about what's our Bible, what's in our Bible, and what is 7 books about, and we talk about. When we start to have assignments in first book, second canonical books, I remember I went all around Egypt to find someone wrote about these books. We can't find. No, you are. She's very servant too, so don't worry. When we have assignment about these books, to see someone wrote about the books, we can't find. I have assignment about this. So when I came to Australia, I said I need to write something people didn't concentrate, didn't people write about. First book I wrote was Book of Tobit. To find a resource with English resource, I didn't find any. Only Koronga I went. They haven't got even any books. They have to import another books. I remember it was about, still I got it $34 American dollar, and it was very small, and the material I collected from another books and another teaching was more than what we get. So even Catholic Church, they haven't got much. These books, you found it, it's only in Bible and the Greek Catholic. In Orthodox Church, we can't afford to print our copy until now. So we use the Anglican one, the Catholic one, some of the translation not very good. And even if you read Manuel, he got 2-3 books here, 2 books different. I have another 2 books different. You found the translation until now, they didn't stick to one translation all the church to use. And when I collecting material to compare verse by verse, the translation from Arabic to English was not 100%. From English to English wasn't 100% even. Some of the Bible, New King James, or some of the Catholic one, wasn't the translation the same. There is a priest, his name Abuna Thomas in Melbourne. He's the recent last year, he was contacting me, he needs to do a book of second canonical books. Only 1 page in Arabic and 1 page in English, and they done their own translation. And he got approval from His Holiness Pope Theodorus, and the ambassador, he printed 20,000 of these books. They will ship soon this year to Melbourne. So this one, the only one, maybe the Orthodox nowadays they can use as a resource. But how equals the translation, I didn't see. From which resource they pick up the translation and compare and do the right translation, I'm not sure. Because one of the chapters here, even in the book of Tobia, I found the translation stopped in verse 12, in Arabic went to 14. So there is two verses they combined together. So that's why they need someone who is very, very good in translation, because even our colleague, remember when, what's his name translated, Andrew? After a couple of years, 3-4 years now, when we read Abuna, even listen to Abuna, and some of the fractions, we found some of the words English need to be correct. Because you cannot have something finalized 100% for generation and generation. That's number one. The books in our home, we call it first canonical books. And we come to reality now. How many books in our books at home? We need to, that's Bible. 66. Very good. You sure? She said correct? 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 So how many in Old Testament, how many New Testament? How many Old Testament, how many? I need to see you read Bible at home or not. How many? Very close. 27 New Testament or Old Testament? New Testament. So if 27 New Testament, how many Old Testament? Yeah. 36 and 27, how many? Can't be 66. I picked them up, don't worry, Manuel. Mathematics, religion, everything. You finish your HT?
Yeah,
No, I think you do good. You're doing very good.
39?
39, that's it. All right. So we got 27 in our New Testament, 39 in Old Testament. I give you something too easy to remember. 66 is the number of the chapter of which book? We have 66 in our book at home. This is the number of the chapter which book? Book of Isaiah. Some 66. Very good, pre-servant. Very good. 66 is the number of book of Isaiah. Book of Isaiah, we got 66 chapter. 66 chapter, like 66 book. Alright? So number one, the book at home, 66 book. The Bible at home, 66. You add 7 books of second canonical books, so how many total? 66 and 7. 73. And we have 2 book addition, we'll not count them because already in our Bible. So the Bible actually should be 73 chapter. 73 book. Clear? We agree? Alright, so number one, I need to know 73. I will teach you today the phone number of the New Testament. When you want to read the New Testament, you dial this number. What is number? 411471. 411471. Okay? For which books? Number 4 in our New Testament. 4 Gospel. 1. What's the 1?
Revelation.
No. After the 4. Act. After the Act, 4:1:14. What's 14? Epistle of who? St. Paul. After the 14, we got 7. 7 of Theological. And after last one, so if you 4 and 1, how many? 5. 5 and 14, 19 and 7, and 1. So when you dial the number of New Testament, you put all 2, give you New Testament and give you this number. Again, 4:1:14:7:1. I will ask in the end, so don't sleep halfway because we'll ask in the end. Clear? Next time I come, I give you the phone number of Old Testament. Alright? So, how many years take them to write our Bible? They said around 1,600 years. So a book of Matthew take 1 year, a book of John takes 3 years. They add all these years, they found 1,600. How many person wrote our Bible? Our Bible is 73. How many people you guess wrote our Bible?
I can guess.
Guess, that's all. So you failed mathematics already.
Somewhere in the 30s.
About 47, because you got St. John, he wrote 4. All right, 47. Okay, so 1,600 here, 73 book, 47 writer. How many chapters in our Bible?
Um,
1,335. How many verses in our Bible?
10,000.
More. 33, around 33,000 verses. Okay, again, so I need you to remember, include second connected books too. I need you to remember. How many writers? How many people wrote the Bible? 4 people write the Bible. How many, Anastasia? 47. How many years Rebecca they took them to write the Bible? Very good. How many books in our Bible?
73.
73. How many chapters in our Bible?
1,300.
Yeah, 35. 1,335. How many verses in our Bible?
30,000.
33. Guys, you need to write this stuff. Yeah, all right? And for you, how many people write the Bible? 47. 47. Very good. How many years take them to write the Bible? 1,600 years. All right, that's just a small introduction about our Bible. You remember, Rebecca, the phone of the New Testament? The phone number of the New Testament? No, that's fine. What's the phone number of the New Testament?
411471.
Beautiful. Very good. 411471. You can pass your mathematics test now. They should be servant now. All right? 14 book in our New Testament. Who wrote this 14? Imagine one person, he wrote more than half of the New Testament. When we study in Theological College, they said there is no brain can understand what Origen he wrote. That's what they said about him. There is no brain can able to understand what Origen is a scholar but not that. Origen, one of his books, he writes 6 columns. Okay? Every column, he explains the Bible with different language. Imagine, 6 different languages he was explaining the Bible. So there is no brain until now can understand all what or scholar Origen wrote. We say about St. Paul, there is no one until now can understand what St. Paul wrote. Every time you read his epistle or one of his books, you will find a different world. He is one of the philosophy persons, the Christian people, even the non-Christians, they understand and they study his books in their college and their uni. It's very important. St. John Chrysostom, when he gave a sermon, and one verse he say or he read something about St. Paul, he forgot everything about what he was saying and start to go in and in until he looked to the time, oh my God, all this time for St. Paul, and the apology to people and they can't continue. When St. Paul comes to his mind, he will forget about anything and talk about St. Paul. To show how important was St. Paul in our church. Very important. If you read everyone by themselves, you found a lot of treasure in St. Paul. So we know introduction about the Bible. What is 7 books and 2 compilation? The 7 books. Anyone here remember about any of these books, second chronicle books? I remember I gave you in Sunday school before one of the classes. What is books? Tobit, one of them. Book of Judith, number 2. Book of Baruch, number 3. Book of Wisdom of Jesus, son of Sirach, number 4. Wisdom of Solomon, number 5. First Maccabees, second Maccabees, and you got completion of Esther and completion of Daniel. That's the 9. Clear? So these are 9, very important. Some people, they call it Apocrypha, like the name. Unfortunately, this name, it's not actually correct. What's the meaning of Apocrypha? If you look in your dictionary, what's Apocrypha? Something hidden, or something myth, or something not true. The church, our church and Catholic Church, we call it a second canonical books. That's the best name we can call it. Alright? Which church believe in this? Any type of Orthodox church, they believe in this book, and any type of Catholic church, they believe in this book. So mostly of the church before was believing in this book. Not Protestant, not Anglican. Yeah. What happened? This you have to understand. The Protestant church, they came in year 1600. So all the original churches, they always believe in this book. They only, you can call it modern church, or they want to attract attention to. So anything make people hard religion to take it off. No fasting, no this, no that, so can attract a lot of people. Alright? How this book's canonical? Like I said, the church went through very hardship time, but before this, in generation of first and second, third century of the church, we're talking about before we have the division. The division of the church was nearly around 451. So when we talk about the church in that time, all of us was one church. There is no Catholic, there is no Greek, there is no Coptic, we call it one church. In that time, in the year 339, all, one of the council, they call Epon, all was in North Africa, and they all decide these are canonical books. In second and third generation, Saint Clement of Alexandria, the scholar Origen, Saint Jerome, Dionysius, Cyprianus, the Pope of Alexandria, Saint George Chrysostom, Gregorian, all this one, they was taking some of the writing of these second canonical books, and they said that's canonical books. Saint Athanasius himself, he uses these books to answer Arius in his heresies. If you look to Catholic Church again, in years 1546, they said this canonical, and Saint Augustine in his years, they said, if anyone will not believe in these books, we excommunicate him from the church, and these books should be written in our church. If someone opens the Bible for me and have a look to book of John chapter 10 verse 22, until she found it, I will tell you. When they have the early translation of the Bible, like Coptic translation, this is very important, we take it as a resource, they found these books would include, when during the Bartholomew II, 282 before Christ, when they collect a 70 elder of Jews and they start to translate this Bible, they call it Septictum. Yes, this one, they found it inside. The Alexandria translation, one of the very important two, they found this one. The one in Vatican, the Roman translation, they found these books included. So these books was very early. But why these books not in our Bible, Old Testament? Because during the collecting the Old Testament, the Jewish was scattered everywhere. So some of these books was with them, but wasn't easy in that time to collect all the writing. So after they gather, we start to collect this one. And some of these books, after Ezra, the priest, writing the Old Testament, collecting all the Old Testament, some of the books written after his time. That's why it wasn't with this time on the Old Testament list. Did you get the verse? Can you read for me? Book of John 10:22.
Now it was the same communication in Jerusalem and it was saying, and Jacob also returned when he told us before. And the Jews around him and said to him, how long do you keep us in doubt? If you are the Christ.
No, that's enough. Verse 10. Okay? Is that, yeah. Sorry, verse 22. The feast of dedication. Did you hear about Feast of Dedication in Old Bible? What the Feast of Dedication? And Jesus himself went and attended this feast. This Feast of Dedication, when the Greeks take over the temple to teach the Jews, you know the Jews, they don't like pigs like the Muslims, they take over after. So to teach the Jews, they get the pigs and they slaughter it on the altar. So the altar in that time was unclean, so they cannot put sacrifice. So when the Jewish take over and they get the Greek away, they rebuilt the altar. And they have this day as a dedication, so commemoration of we take our temple again and we clean it and we can offer sacrifice. And Jesus himself went and attended this feast. That means important. And only this mentioned in the books of Maccabees, the first book, chapter 4, verse 59. To show if Jesus himself, following this what happened in the Second Chronicle books, that means it's very important for us. Any question about introduction of Second Chronicle books and our Bible before I move on? How long we have to? Because I can give some introduction. 20 minutes, so we can start, at least the outline of Book of Tobit. So any question? Can I do revision before we move on? Number one, how many books in our Bible, Anastasia? 73. No more 66. Now you educate. Now you can, because why we teach you this stuff? Because you are the new generation. You the one can change our Sunday school. Okay? That's right. You the one can teach you when you say 73. And when someone he tell you what's the Book of Tobit, you the one needs to answer. So, how many books? 73. How many people write the books, Rebecca? Guys, you need fish oil. Amma Michael, next class. Before you start. Manuel too. No, there is any prescription for memory too? No, not yet. Alright? No, serious guys. Serious guys. If you're not Christian, I will tell you, you smoke or take drugs. Because people who smoke or take drugs, they have bad memories. They damage their brain. But you're Christian, so I'm sure you not smoke and not take drugs, so you need to take fish oil. Right? So, 47, writer, how many years? 1,600 years to write all the Bible. How many chapters? 1,335. How many verses? 33,000. Phone of the New Testament. What? Put your voice up. Beautiful. That's it. How many books in our New Testament, Anastasia? Guys, write it down. When I give it this in any church, they write it down straight away. So next time I come, they forgot the paper at home and they will read it.
Mine's on my phone, so I can't forget my phone.
27, and the books at home. How many books in our Bible at home? Exactly like how many? Like which books? Isaiah, because Isaiah was 66 chapters. All right. First 4 books in New Testament. How many verses? How many chapters? 89. For Gospel, 89. The most important chapter in all these 89, do you know which one? Book of Luke, chapter 15, is a very famous one, اللي هو بتاع lost son, prodigal son, and lost sheep, and اللي هو 10 coin. This is the heart of the New Testament. Alright, so all this one will start the Book of Tobit slowly. Just put the all electronic now and concentrate. Good. Book of Tobit, very important. It's big, about 16 chapters. Some of you already, I gave you the books. I have only 2 copies I found so far. We printed 3 times. or 4 times. And this print was special for Dr. Samir Tadros. You remember him, Michael? He was one of the great servants in our church. I did these books for his commemoration of his departure. Okay? I will leave these 2 copies for you, but you can find it in my website, all of them in my website. And you found all the sermon I give today in my website too. Alright? I leave 2 from manual. If you not have, but mostly of you have it at home, don't worry. Okay, Book of Tobit. Number 1, his name Tobit. What's Tobit? In Hebrew, Tobia. Anything with Yah, that means God. Top, that means kind person or type. Tobia. Tobit. Alright, he's a very nice man. They took him as a captivity. They took him as a captivity when he was young to another land of Babylon or Assyrian time. Who wrote these books? Tobit the father. Because Tobit, when he has son, in Arabic translations there is no difference in the names, but in English translations they call his son Tobia. So Tobit the father and Tobia the son, to make it easy for people. But he called the son, the Bible say he called him after his name. So Tobia the father and Tobia the son. Alright, he was very nice man. And the language they wrote these books, they use Aramaic language. You know which one the Aramaic language? The language they wrote the Bible, and the language was Passion of Christ. They used to talk about it. This is the language, the street language, not the formal language. The formal language in Hebrew, but the Aramaic, the one they use in the street. Okay? Tobit, when he was young, he was following his commandments. He loved everyone and all this one. He was a rich man. He grew up, he married, and he got a son, and they called him after his name. His wife, her name Anna, and Tobit in that time, because the Jewish, they have to follow the religion, and because the captivity in Assyrian land or Babylonian land, they used to go pray to the God. So what the king done? The king, he said, anyone he prays to his God, we kill him. And because we kill him, we leave him to die in the street, no one allowed to bury him. So the rest they can scare and they learn the lesson. If you disobey the king, that's what can happen to you. But to beat what he do, come at night and take these people dead in the street and bury them. That's why when in any monastery, the person he buries, the monk, they call him Tobia. Because Tobia, like the one we talk about, the funeral people, you know, $300 per half an hour, Michael, you know. Alright, so they call him, yeah, I went in monastery, I'm sure he got a monk, his name is Tobia, he's the one buried. He look after tafus, they call it tafus, the people die in the monastery here. So he come at night and take these people and they bury them. People, they start warning him, they tell him, you disobey the king will get angry from you. He was very rich, he take all his money to spend it to the poor, because people captivity, they work as a slave. And he buries them, and he was serving God with all his heart, and loved God very much. One day he come home, and he was tired of sleeping in his lounge on that time, and some bird coming from the nest of the bird come in his eye. Get him infection, and later on what happened to his eye, he gets blind. People start to tell him, listen, we told you, you spend all your time, you serve God. You spend all your money to give it to the poor, look what you got now. He was very upset. Even his wife, one day she coming with little goats, and the goat make noise. She has to work because no money, no income, no central link for them, you know. So she has to work. He told her, be careful. Did you stole this goat? She gets very angry from him. Why you tell me I'm stole, so on, so on. She gets very angry from him. So he started praying with tears, tell him, God, please take my soul. I can't handle this temptation anymore. We stop here, we move to another one of his relatives, her name Sarah. Her name Sarah, this have another temptation. She married 7 times, and every time in her wedding day, the devil killed her husband. And one day her servant, she was doing something, she done something wrong. She told him, why you do this? The servant was very rude. She told him, why you talk to me like this? You will never marry and you will never have children. She was very upset. She went up to our room and she would pray, God take my soul. I can't handle this temptation anymore. To be the father, after he was praying, he feel God accept his prayer. So he told his son, my son, one day there is a businessman come and borrow 10 bags of silver from me, and he didn't give it to me yet. I want you to go to him to get this money back. He said, Dad, I don't know the way. He said, we have to find someone, he knows the way, and this one can take you to the way to get the money and come back. They started looking for anyone to know. They found very handsome person outside. They tell him, do you know the way? He said, yes. Yeah. They tell him, come talk to my dad and tell him you know the way so he can go with me, obey you. With the archangel Raphael in performing in the human person. So on the first day they go next to a river. He go take him to get the money. So when he was washing his feet, a big fish coming to bite his leg, he's scared to beat. So the archangel Raphael, the one who was in the body, he told him, if this fish come back, get it outside from there. The fish coming back, so to beat, grab it and put it outside. After a little while, because no water, they die. They tell him, this fish very important for us. We can salt the meat to help us on the tip. We can take the liver and kidney helping us. If you put it in the pool, will cast demon away, and if someone blind and describe his eye, will see again. They start walking in their street. They stop in the area for Sarah's house. They come, he said, you my relative, can we sleep over tonight? He said, yeah, no problem. And the archangel Raphael, he told him, listen, I want you to propose this girl Sarah. He said, I hear that everyone married her die. 7 times. I am the only one child for my family. The angel told him, these people married for love, not for married as a marriage. That's why the devil have power to them to kill them. I tell you, when you married, 3 days you spend in fasting and pray with your wife, and I will cut the demon away. So they asked her dad to marry, and her dad was very happy when he know his relative too. So, and the first, they celebrate first 3 days, they went to upper room and they was praying all 3 days. And this is a tradition of in Egypt, first 3 days when you marry, the wife go to monastery, they have a room they call to beat room, and the husband for another room, and after the 3 days they married as a husband and wife. And the wedding was in olden days, you come in Vespa, the husband and wife stay in the church with dress, everything, and he attending tasbihah, and in the mass, during the mass, they make the wedding before the mass, and if the husband, he's a deacon, he serves in the altar, and after the mass, and they go to the monastery. And they still have a room they call to beat room. That's why was the marriage very successful. Now they're very worried about photo, they were very worried about reception, they're very worried about this. That's why we have 40 to 50% in Australia marriage. What happened to him? Thank you very much. Okay, so they take the marriage as a spiritual, not as a... Alright, it's not our point nowadays. We'll keep going. The father of the girl, Sarah, in the morning very early, he told his people to start digging the grave, the new customer coming, you know. Serious, the Bible says, start digging the grave, and they wanted to knock the room. They found him still alive. They was very happy. He said, you can't go home, you have to stay more with us. Stay more with us. They stay more and more, so to which he told the archangel, listen, I'll be very long time away from my home now. You go get the money, and come meet me, and we'll go together. He went to get the money, and he come back, he took him and go back. So when they come back, his dad was every day standing outside to look for his son. I want you to imagine, you're serving God very well. Michael, listen to this, very important. You're serving God, you spend all your time, no, serious, because this is some of the stuff people asking us questions. You're serving God, you spend all your life serving God. You spend all your money for His people, the poor people. You disobey the king and you bury the people. And after you get blind. What does this mean? Not only blind, his only son to go get the money and he didn't come. So imagine what the devil put in your mind. He tell you, listen, you waste your money, you waste your time. God, he never listened to you. Because you are a sinner. Because there is no God. Or because the saints do not exist. And he starts to put a lot of stuff in your mind. But you have to understand something very important. There is a difference between our expectation and the wisdom of God. What this means? We expect something, but the wisdom of God, different story. If God, from first day, he healed his eye, we will hear about Tobia or his book? Never. If God, from first day, he rewarded him for the money he lost, he will send the archangel Raphael to help him? No. So very important. When you found something like this, you have to have strong faith. God always does the good in our life. Whatever happens, you have to know. We as a human, we need the quick answer. With God, he has different wisdom. God has different wisdom. So very important. So the archangel Raphael come, and he told Tobia, when you see your dad, remember you take the kidney, and this is the picture here. When you see your dad, take the kidney, scribe his eye, and he will see. Scribe his eye, and they start to see. They told this man, you got us the money, my son he married Sarah, you got all this money for us. My dad he saw again, he was blind for 4 years. Imagine how long is this temptation, 4 years blind. And what we can give you in return? They found him start the reform as an angel, his wing start. He said, God sent me to help you. God, he never forgets your service and your money you spent for the bull. That's why God, he reward you. And whatever happened to you, write it in books. That's why we say to be the father, he's the one who wrote this one. So wisdom of God is very important. If this not happened to Tobia, we never can hear about Tobia. How many years he lived after his sight come back? 42 years. And he saw his generation and second generation. Daniel. What happened to him? Where he gone? Lion den. Did he done anything wrong? Nothing. God can save him before he go to the lion den or not? Easy. He told the king is sign here, the king can say to him, no, I'm not going to sign. Why you want me to sign for? But why God allowed Daniel to go for lion den? Not only this, the wisdom of God. Do you know what happened after Daniel went to lion den? What happened? What the lion done to him? Nothing. That's not nothing. The miracle happened. The king next day he called Daniel. Daniel, did your God save you? What Daniel answered him? He said, King, live forever. My God, he sent his angel and shut the mouth of the lion. The king was very happy. He sent a decree, all his kingdom, you have to worship the God of Daniel, because there is no other God can do what Daniel done. If Daniel didn't go to lion den, do we have the story of Daniel lion den? Did we have people know about God of Daniel? So always God he do the right for us. Clear? Whenever our faith to check, we lose our faith. Never. God does the good for us. Glory be to God forever and ever. Amen. Any question? Anything? Michael, احنا finish in time ولا؟